Hey, what's good, everybody? Jack and Lockie here from the Hardwood Rundown podcast. Today's a special free agency episode. Free agency starts tomorrow, and we've written a list of where we think players should go, or who they should try and go to, and what teams play. We just basically I wrote a list of players with destinations that I think they should look at. And I think Lockie's done the same. I've done two teams. I've done the Cavs, obviously, because they're my favorite team. And I've done the Lakers because there's been a lot of speculation with preferred destinations. Lakers basically going after half the league, going for every player over 35, and trying to build like a championship roster. But I think I've done a list for the Lakers and the Cavs. And then I've grabbed, actually, I'll put the link to the article in the description. It's like the top 30 free agents. So I've just kind of it's the top 30 free agents that are like worth going after. So I'll put that in the description. Lockie, how are you, champ?
Good, mate. How are you?
Always good. Living the dream.
Yeah. See, I don't have as an extensive list as you, but I've got a couple of who I want for different teams to sign, and especially for 76ers, how I want us to go about our business. For Miles Turner, you reminded me of him because I kind of forgot about him in Indiana. But I'm thinking there are some rumors around him going to the Knicks, and I think that'd be great. Now, Mitch Robinson's kind of in the way, and Nerlens Noel, like they're kind of fighting for minutes, but I think that'd be a perfect fit. And then another one would be Mike Conley to the Heat, because I feel like they need a natural.
I've got that too.
Guard. You do?
Yeah, but I've got like Utah as the first option.
Yeah.
I've got him to stay. I've got him to stay in Utah, but if he was to go anywhere else, I've got Miami. Yeah. Or Chicago.
Oh, Chicago would be good, eh?
Yeah, Chicago could be good.
Yeah, I want him to. I want him to actually compete for a title, but wherever he needs to go. And then I think Utah's the best. I think Utah's like the best fit. Yeah. And like the best possible option. But if you wanted to go to like a bigger market, probably Miami. I feel like he'd pair well in that team, and I think they just need a veteran who can kind of run the offense besides Jimmy, because Jimmy took a lot of the load last season. Yeah, because sometimes if you're relying on Kendrick Nunn to run the offense, like he's more of a scoring guard. He's not a playmaker. I'm looking at Lakers. They need shooting, so I looked JJ Redick. I think he'd be a good option. Yeah. I was thinking Will Barton as well, but I'm thinking he's going to want a bit more money. He's still in his prime.
Well, I think he declined a $10 million deal from the Nuggets, and I don't think if he went to the Lakers, I don't think the Lakers even have money, like that much money. No, because now they've got Westbrook's contract.
Yeah, and I think you were saying at the other episode, they can't just sign minimum shooters, if you know what I mean. Like like Wes Matthews type players. Even though Wes Matthews is good, it's like you can't. You need a couple ones who are worth a bit more.
Yeah, definitely.
I won't Justice Winslow. I'd love him to stay in Memphis, but if not, if Bobby Portis leaves, I'd love him to go to the Bucks. I think I'd
like him on the Bucks,
like so well in their culture, and he's very like defensive oriented, but he's a slasher as well. He can hit the three. He's a decent passer as well. I feel like he works so well.
Yeah, that's a good
off
pick.
The bench for them.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
And then I'll just go. Yeah. Sorry, you go.
No, I was just saying he'd be good in New York as well, I think, because he can do a bit of everything, and I think the whole team would kind of complement. Like, I don't think he would start. I think he'd come off as like a 6-man. But like New York having that option off the bench, they can kind of just run the offense. They obviously had Derrick Rose, but I don't think Derrick Rose is going to stay in New York. Yeah,
and he's another one who I have no idea where he's even.
I don't know where he would fit. I just had the two LA teams because I don't know where else he'd fit well in, like on the Clippers. I think he would fit on the Clippers more than he would the Lakers. I got a lot of players for the Clippers. I got a lot of players for the Lakers and Miami. Right. I'll do with like 4 from my list.
Yeah.
So I've got Kyle Lowry. I've got Miami as the first option. I think him and Mike Conley are very similar,
Yeah.
but Kyle Lowry's got more star power. I think he's very, very good. He gets a lot of hate,
Yeah.
but I think he's one of the premier star point guards in the league. He's old, like he's obviously gotten older. Sorry, this
Like
light's
35.
like
No, it's fine. It's all good.
he's like 35 now. Like he's obviously old. He won't get a crazy deal, I don't think. Oh, he might. He might if the team has the money. So I've got Miami, great fit. Philly, amazing fit. Like
Mm,
a really good fit. If they were to let go of Ben Simmons, or even like a trade, like a sign and trade.
yeah.
And I think the Clippers was another option. But Kyle Lowry was rumored, like he was almost going to sign with Philly last free agency. And that was even before they got all the star power, that like the potential groove for those players. They really, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid really came to life. That was kind of before they were on the rise.
Yeah.
And now that they're here, I think Kyle Lowry would be a great fit. I think he would be a great fit for Ben Simmons. But like I feel like if you were to sign Kyle Lowry, you'd have to get rid of Ben Simmons or Tobias Harris.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you know me, I'd probably get rid of Simmons. And
Yeah,
because like Embiid's hit his ceiling, you know what I mean? Like he's like, you know exactly what you're going to get out of him.
yeah,
But with someone like Simmons, and you know exactly what you're going to get out of Lowry. And so with someone
and
like
Tobias Harris
Simmons,
too.
yeah, and Tobias Harris. So with someone like Simmons, you really don't know if they're going to continue to I guess downgrade throughout the years. So
Yeah, it's
it would
definitely a
have
bit
to be
harder.
like a sign and trade or something earlier
Yeah,
on in free
definitely,
agency. Yeah.
100%. I've got Lonzo as well on here.
Mm.
First option, I got the Pels. I think he has to. I think he should stay. I think the Pelicans got to do everything they can to match any offer, and that's kind of
Really?
why they did the That's kind of why they did the Grizzlies trade. I think he's the perfect, like for what you're trying to build, the culture you're trying to build. I think he's the
Mm.
perfect fit for Zion. He works well with Brandon Ingram. He's developed a good jump shot. He's a fantastic defender, and I think that's a core three. That's the core three that is eventually going to make you a playoff team, a contender, and players like Valanciunas, who they added, they can sign some good guards in free agency.
Mm.
Um, I personally think that the Pelicans would be dumb to let him go because I
Mm.
think he's had a rocky start, but everyone's honestly, the potential is sky high. He can be an elite point guard in this league.
Mm.
6'6" guard who can shoot the rock, can defend, can throw lobs from anywhere, can really.
He's an amazing passer. Yeah.
He's an amazing passer, and to have that paired with Zion, we already saw shades of it last year.
Yeah.
Like it was really good. And the only knock I have on Lonzo is his health.
Yeah.
Are you willing to like risk that much money for a guy that's can't even play a full 82 games?
Do you reckon? Do you reckon Lonzo? Because do you reckon he's anxious to kind of win now, or do you reckon he'll trust in the front office to if he signs back with them, if he will play the long game? Because like I mean, every year counts when you're in the NBA, and he could definitely get his agent and be like, I want to play for a championship team.
Yeah.
But do you reckon he'll factor that into his how he thinks it? Because I feel like he's someone who wants to win now. Like he doesn't want to mess around. But
I think he's always been a winner, and like
yeah, and so it's unnatural. Like
yeah, like but like you're a young NBA player. Like not every young player is just going to be on a championship team right away. I think you would wait it out for a few years and see what you can actually like prove to people. Because like you're not going to like honestly, if I'm like the Lakers or the Clippers, I'm not going to sign Lonzo Ball who's had zero playoff experience, zero championship pedigree. And if I'm Lonzo Ball, I don't want that either. I want to stay in a small. Well, New Orleans isn't a relatively small market, but it's not like one of the major markets in the NBA. Yeah. I would stay in New Orleans with one of the most exciting young players in the league, Zion. Brandon Ingram, who is touted by many as a young Kevin Durant, and just see what you can do with those two players. Because if you can't seem to make the playoffs with those two players, then I think that tells a lot of those championship teams what kind of player you are, because you're leading that team if you're the point guard, and if you can't lead the team to a playoffs with a once in a generation talent in Zion Williamson and an elite scorer in Brandon Ingram, then I don't think it looks good on your behalf, and there'll be even more speculation about what does he bring to the table.
Yeah.
New Orleans is I think the front office is a bit, I don't know, inconsistent. And I think that's the only reason I wouldn't stay in New Orleans. I put down Chicago as another spot that could be Chicago is a really good spot for him too. Working with Levine and Vucevic, bit of a younger core,
a lot of offensive players.
Yeah, very offensive minded, and he could really bring the tenacity in the defense. But it could really help. I think if he joined the Bulls, they would make the playoffs. The other destination I put was the Clippers. I think that would work really well, or even just the Lakers. But now that they've got Westbrook, I just don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, Lonzo's
Clippers would be sick. Sorry,
Clippers would be sick. That would be awesome to see. But Lonzo is a very tricky player to analyze what he's going to do, because no one knows.
Yeah,
no one knows.
Still figuring it out, really.
But if I'm the Pelicans, if I'm Lonzo, I might not want to stay in New Orleans.
Yeah, if I'm same.
But if I'm the Pelicans, I'm matching any offer. Any offer. Kawhi, I've said he's staying with the Clippers. CP3 would be dumb to go anywhere else.
I was gonna ask about that. He declined $44 million.
I know, but I think
I'm like, is he looking for a long-term deal?
I reckon he's looking for a longer, maybe 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
and maybe less money so they can help sign. Because I think his mindset now is we're a championship team. We need to add to this now.
Yeah, if I'm him, I'm taking a pay cut. I didn't need
I'm taking a pay cut. I don't need that money.
Yeah.
I think you should stay. I think you should stay in Phoenix. I can't see him fitting in anywhere. Obviously I can see him fitting in anywhere else, but to see what they did, obviously to make the finals with a team backed by Devin Booker and CB3. I think if you're CB3, you should stay in Phoenix. Another interesting one is DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, I don't know where he'd fit.
I've got my issue. I got two teams. I can't really see him. He's not staying in San Antonio. I'm pretty sure he's already said he's not going to.
Yeah.
I got Dallas. Dallas with Doncic and Porzingis could be a very exciting team to watch, I think. And then I've put the Knicks. Now, the Knicks could work, because I think everyone was saying the Knicks needed another star if they wanted to be not a championship contender, but a consistent playoff team. And I think DeRozan gives them that kind of star power. He's obviously very experienced. He can help the young guys learn. He'd be great for Julius Randle.
Yeah.
Another player that I've said should go to the Knicks is Spencer Dinwiddie. I think that would work really well as well. If you were to sign Dinwiddie and DeRozan, because we know they've got the cap, I would go after those two. DeRozan should be at the top of their list, because I don't think they're going to get Kawhi. Lonzo could be another good fit.
Yeah.
Obviously the Knicks could go after anyone they want. Kelly Oubre I've put down for the Knicks as well. I think Oubre would fit well in Philly as well.
Yeah.
That's one that or Oubre in Dallas or Philly. I think they'd be great fits too.
Oh, geez, Oubre and Doncic. That's the cutest.
That would be amazing. Yeah, that would be sex.
Yeah. That sounds because DeMar. Yeah, the fact that he's not a 3-point shooter kind of turns me off him. But I know he's a star player who can put 22, 5 and 5. That's his type of production. And so him on the Knicks with a young team he's already made the playoffs. They can only go up from here.
Yeah.
Dinwiddie's a bit of a risk, but I still think he's yet to reach his ceiling. And so you put both of them on the Knicks, that could be like dangerous.
It could be exciting to watch. But I
Yeah.
think if I'm DeRozan, I want to go to Dallas. I want to go to Dallas. I don't want to go anywhere else.
Mm.
And so I've gone for a few role players here. Have you got many people left on your list?
No, I just got who I want for Sixers, but you go.
Okay. All right. So I've got Duncan Robinson. If I'm him, I'm staying in Miami. I don't think I would go where would you go?
Yeah, I'd trust where. Yeah.
I trust Miami. I trust the culture. He fits the culture really well. He fits the system really well. He's an underrated defender. And Miami I feel like Miami would offer him what he wants. And I think he'd be dumb to leave. Very good player, elite sharpshooter. And I think it just it gives you security knowing that you have a shooter like Duncan Robinson on your team.
Yeah.
Tim Hardaway. I stay in Dallas. But obviously the Lakers could go after them as well. He'd be a great fit in LA with LeBron. Denver as well. I've put Tim Hardaway.
Yeah. Okay.
Rashawn Holmes. Obviously, I don't think he'll stay in Sacramento. I've gone Dallas. Dallas would be a good fit. Brooklyn potentially, but I don't think Brooklyn even have the money to give him some sort of good deal.
Yeah.
And I've done.
Yeah. So you go.
They've got no money. Like
yeah,
they've got three of the top 10 best players in the league on their contract. So don't know about that. I've done the Warriors as well for Rashawn Holmes. That could be a great fit because they've always liked having undersized bigs that can protect the rim and rebound and finish inside. I think he brings that tenacity as well. He'd match well with Draymond in the paint.
Yeah,
that would be a scary front court because Rashawn Holmes, although he's more of a scorer, he's still a great rim defender.
He's athletic as hell.
He's
so he can
athletic
switch
too.
on a different guys. His help defense is like really what stands out to me, and like his ability to roll, catch lobs.
Definitely. Yeah,
he's solid. Yeah.
Evan Fournier was an interesting one.
Yeah.
If I'm Evan Fournier, I don't think I want to stay in Boston. I think because you're gonna be playing off the bench because you're gonna have Jaylen Brown back.
Yeah.
And Denver is where I would want to go. He played there at the start of his career, playing with Nikola Jokic, another European, and Jamal Murray. I think that would be a good backcourt. He's still really underrated.
Yeah.
Obviously, he can score the rock. Utah was another one that I think would be a good fit off the bench. Mike Conley, obviously, I mentioned before. Utah, Miami, Chicago. Any of those are good fits. Reggie Jackson. What are your thoughts on Reggie Jackson?
Because he deserves a payday. And so I was thinking Lakers, but I was like, no, take him off. Man, I don't know. I'd love to, for some reason, I'd love to see him in Portland. I feel like he'd go off. Now they know that they have a lot of guards, but yeah, I think he'd be good there. And even Knicks as well. I think he'd be interesting there.
Yeah, I think he should stay in LA. I think he fit well with what they were trying to do in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it kind of took the pressure off the Stars.
Yeah.
Like if you're any of those teams that have big stars in their lineup, you need players that kind of take the pressure off in clutch moments and in tough times. I think Reggie Jackson is perfect for that. Okay, so Mitchell Robinson is on a team option. So the Knicks can decline if they want. Like I don't know. Like if I'm the Knicks, would you decline that?
I see a lot in Mitch Robinson, and so I'd look to. I wouldn't decline it at all.
Yeah, I don't think I would. It was just interesting because I was like, imagine him on the Clippers, Dallas next to Porzingis. That would be that would be an amazing front court.
Yeah.
Although Porzingis had a really terrible year, but I still believe in him. I still think he's going to come back and just silence the critics. Boston was another one for Mitchell Robinson. That could work too.
Yeah, and he could fit anywhere really because of he's a David. He can fit in any system.
Yeah, definitely. Last player I've got before we go to the teams. I've got John Collins. John Collins is restricted. So if the Hawks can match any offer. And I think he's worth the max. If I'm Atlanta, I would keep him because I think he fit really well with Clint Capella, and they didn't think that it was going to work, but it worked. It took them deep into the playoffs. Elite rim protection, can score on 3 levels. He's he's developed his shooting, which has kind of turned his game into really like star conversation. If Atlanta were dumb enough to let him go, I'd like to see him in Charlotte. I think Charlotte would be.
Oh, that'd be entertaining as well.
Like a very entertaining. Like if you're after just entertainment, Charlotte with imagine Miles Bridges, Lonzo Ball, PJ Washington. That whole team would be amazing.
Yeah.
And then I've put the Spurs because I feel like he'd learn a lot under under Greg Popovich. Paired with like DeJounte Murray, Derek White, the whole young kind of core of the Spurs, he'd fit in really well there. Okay, so how far in are we? About 20 minutes?
Yeah, like 20 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, great. So you go to the Sixers. I want to hear what you think the Sixers should do.
Yeah, a lot of what we do depends on what we do with Ben Simmons. Like a lot of our free agent decisions depend on that. I have some different ones for Ben Simmons, but I'd honestly I want to think about what we should do if we trade Ben, because I think that's just going to happen.
Yeah,
we've been shopping him around. We're going to find an offer, and so I think if we get him off, I want to look for Oladipo. I think he would be so good next to Embiid because he, definitely, as a star player, now he's been a bit iffy. But as a star player, he's not so dominant that he can't lose his touches. Like he'll give up the ball a bit. I'd love Danny Green to take a pay cut. I don't know if he's where his head is at, but I'm okay with him leaving, even though he's like a real solid 3-and-D. I'd love to re-sign Dwight, but again, same with Danny Green. I don't know if he's going to take a pay cut. I don't know what's in Dwight's head because he'll go from team to team just like nothing.
Yeah.
He's crazy. I'd like to go for Bobby Portis. He would fit well in the Sixers culture, and potentially JJ Redick, get him back, or Evan Fournier. And another one just for having an enforcer for come playoff time would be like James Johnson or PJ Tucker. That's all
right. So you haven't gone so much for stars. You've kind of gone for players that can fit around.
Yeah,
Joel and obviously Tobias Harris.
Because I think whatever we trade for with Ben is what's gonna solidify us as like a conference finals team. I think it will get us past the second round, and then so I'm looking at players that help us get from that conference final to the finals.
All right. I like it.
Cavs.
Yeah, so let's go to the Cavs. So obviously Cleveland is not a go-to destination, not a destination that players would actually high-profile players would want to go to. So I've written a list of experienced role players, who would just fit well with what we're trying to build. First one, I've gone Alex Caruso. I think now that we've got Ricky Rubio, I think that's kind of off the table. But Cavs were rumored to really want to go after Caruso because he brings that grit and grind, the leadership, obviously from the Lakers. He can shoot the ball. He can finish inside. He's an elite defender.
Very good defender.
Yeah. And then I think he'd fit well off the bench. I think he would start, honestly. Because obviously,
think of that.
Yeah, no, because I don't know. I've just kind of tried to go for players that just fly under the radar and wouldn't be getting big contracts anywhere. Doug McDermott. Doug
completely forgot about him.
Doug McDermott would fit like so well. He can play the 4, he can play the 3. He's an elite shooter. Could really bring some, I don't know, flair to the team, obviously. And then we got Alec Burks as well, who obviously had a stint in Cleveland a few years back. I think he'd be pairing well with that backcourt again. Then I've gone Reggie Bullock. Obviously lit it up for the Knicks last year. And I think he'd fit really well with Darius Garland and Colin Sexton. Not sure what's going to happen with him. I've kind of gotten used to the trade talks, so I wouldn't be surprised if they end up shipping him. But obviously you're going to get some good pieces back if you were to trade him. We got Bryn Forbes as well. That's my last one. Bryn Forbes. He's off contract with the Bucks. Bucks won't offer him a big deal, but I think the Cavs could. And I think Cavs, if you're a sharpshooter, I think, and he wants a sharpshooter, I think he fits really well with what we're trying to build. So there's 5 free agents there that are role players, but also it's interesting. I tried to get some big names in there, but honestly, I can't think of anyone that would want to come to Cleveland.
Unfortunately.
It's not a desirable place.
You want some, I like that idea that you want some really solid role players to kind of keep the ship sailing until Darius Garland can kind of become that star player, till maybe if Colin Sexton can actually find his feet even more with the Cavs. Even he's a solid player, but because, the fact that they're thinking of trading him. But, having some role players to kind of keep things afloat while you develop your stars, I think that's a good idea.
Definitely. And my last one is the Lakers. I've gone 4 players here. I've gone Patty Mills. He'd fit well. He'd fit well with LeBron. He wouldn't have to carry the ball. He'd just be a shooter, a scorer, which I think he does better than he does in terms of being a point guard. I think he's great at scoring the ball. JJ Redick was another one. JJ Redick can fit any team, but him paired with LeBron would just be unbelievable to watch. I've gone Dwight. Dwight could come back. Apparently, I've heard of that. Saw that on Instagram or something. And then I go Melo. I think Melo would. Yeah. Melo should consider because, obviously LeBron and him have never played together. But to share the court on a road to a chip would be really good, and I think it would help Carmelo's career too. Yeah. So that's all I've done.
If anyone, Melo should be the first person they talk to.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's too good to not talk to. Yeah, he's like the perfect fit for that team. But that's my list. I'm really excited to see what happens. I wonder if there's going to be any shocks. I don't think there is. I don't think there'll be any shocking deals or anything like that.
It's not exactly gearing up for that yet.
No, not at all. I think it's a role player's free agency, if you know what I mean. It's not a star-studded free agency. But so that's the free agency preview. Lockie, any thoughts?
I'm really keen. I love free agency because it's such an interesting period, and you can really see where, it gets you so excited for the season. You see what GMs really get paid to do.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm excited. It starts tomorrow. Let's go.
Yeah, it should be good. So that is episode 5 of the off season. We will be doing I think we'll be doing a end of free agency review instead of little bits in between. Because then we could just talk more about it. Next on the off season, we'll be probably covering the quarterfinals of the Olympics. Australia playing Argentina in the quarterfinals, and I think that would be a really enjoyable game to watch. USA versus Spain, which will be really good again. And the Olympics are heating up. Australia have won a lot of gold medals compared to times they have before, and we're hoping the Boomers will snag one.
Hopefully, man.
But praying. But that's it from us. You've watched our Harvard Rundown, the off-season episode 5. Loving what we're doing, and we hope you do too. So yeah, that's it from me.
Let's go.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.